Gang, thanks for hanging with the Mechanic Ninja today. Today we're working on a Toro Power Max 824 CE. It's got an 8 horsepower engine on it, 24-inch clearing width. It's a great, awesome machine. I cleaned this carburetor, but it still is not running right, so I just chose to go ahead and purchase a new carburetor. So in this video, I'm going to show you how to install a new carburetor on a Toro Power Max. So let's jump right into it. Flip this around. Before we begin, make sure that you have eye protection. Make sure you're wearing some gloves to protect your hands, and you're in a well-ventilated area. First thing you want to do is make sure your gas valve is turned off. That's this guy right here. Make sure it's vertical, going up and down. That means it is off. Next thing you'll need is a 5/16 socket, either on a drill. Well, you'll need one on a drill, and you'll also need one on a small ratchet. We're going to take 2 bolts out here. Bolt there, 2 bolts here. Those 2 bolts. Then you're going to want to grab your little socket and come up here to the front. There's a bolt right here in the front. I already loosened mine. You'll need to pop yours loose with the 5/16. And then we're going to come around here to this other side. There's one more bolt you need to get out. Right here. Go ahead and take yours out. Yours will be tight, mine are loose. So I already have this off to clean the carburetor. Okay, once that's off, now we're going to take that heat shield off. Make sure you did not run your snowblower before you're doing this, or these parts will be very hot. Okay, this piece comes up, and you're going to turn it that way, because it's got a little lip right here that goes underneath the gas tank. Go ahead and set that aside with the bolts. Okay, now you're going to need a 10mm socket for these 2 bolts holding on the carburetor. Okay, these are right here. It's okay to take it off with an impact. We don't want to put it back on with an impact, just because you can run the risk of breaking something. Once that's off, slowly bring this off. It's going to have some slight tension. You're going to come out a little bit and then stop. Let me show you why. You got all these tubes holding it on. The one, sorry, let me get you in here so you can see. This one is your primer. So just go ahead and reach down here. There's a little crimper holding that on, and go ahead and pull off that tube. With that one off, you should be able to come straight off and just kind of set this over to the side. Okay, just kind of let it hang there for a second. No big deal. Next thing you're gonna need to do is unclamp your gas valve or gas line. We make sure that that's off. Go ahead and put a paper towel down here underneath to catch any fuel that may come out. And then go ahead and wiggle off this little clamp. It's just kind of something that you pinch and then wiggle back, and then take the gas line, kind of wiggle it around a little bit, and then pull it off. Might be a little bit of gas come out. Just make sure you have something to catch it so you can dispose of it correctly. And then your carburetor can move like this. You don't want to bring it out too far. So first we want to take off this little spring. You do not want to bend it. Just go ahead and grab it and kind of pull it up. It's got a little pirate's hook on it, holding it in. And then this thing, go ahead and turn and pull the carburetor out just a little bit till you can get that up, and gently set that down. Be careful where you set your carburetor, because there is going to be gasoline leak out of it. So best thing to do is put it in a little bucket so you can catch the gasoline and dispose of it correctly. Set mine over there. If you went ahead and purchased a new carburetor, go ahead and grab that. This is my new carburetor. One thing that I highly recommend on any new carburetor that you buy, go ahead and check and make sure these bolts on the bowl are tight. I've had them come where they're loose and they will leak on you. So make sure your carburetor is the same as your other one. Go ahead and match that up. Mine came with a tube on my primer, a new primer tube. You can either remove the one on your machine or the one on your new carburetor. I just went ahead and removed it on my carburetor. This one's pretty good. Next thing you want to do, right here where your carburetor hooks on, there is a gasket right here. Mine, this machine's like brand new, so this gasket is in great shape. So I'm just gonna leave it. If yours is bad, your new carburetor kit should have came with a new gasket. So go ahead and slide your new carburetor on. And we're just gonna do things in reverse. Go ahead and take this linkage, put it back there, grab your needle nose pliers, and put that spring back on. Make sure that spring's still got that good Pirate's hooks on it. And go ahead and slide that in. Okay, and go ahead and put your gas line on. Slide that clamp back on. Go ahead and push that in. It's looking great. Next thing you want to do, go ahead and put your primer bulb line back on. Go ahead and slide that back over. Should be pretty simple, like that. Now this thing, you got to make sure that that comes out your little gap in the plastic. Right, make sure to put back on that gasket before you hook back on the plastic. Do not forget that. Okay, when you're putting that back on, make sure make sure it's coming out the gap in the plastic where your choke is. Okay, once you have that through, then line up your bolts on your plastic. And then go ahead and slowly push it in. Check in here, make sure that this make sure that primer line is over here back behind that protected plastic piece where it's supposed to be. Make sure your primer line is still on strong. Okay, mine's still on. Looks great. Okay, now go ahead and grab your two carburetor nuts, and you can start the one by hand. The other one you're going to need to just go ahead and put it in the end of your socket, and then tip it up in there. Just go ahead and bring these on snug. While you're doing that, look in here, make sure everything is not getting bound up on anything. If it's not, then you know you did everything correctly. Go ahead and run those in. And then grab your socket and wrench and just put them snug. Remember, you're dealing with plastic here. You do not want to go very tight or you could snap it. Just snug and you're done. Okay. Make sure your choke is moving freely and good. Make sure this is moving freely and good. It didn't get caught up on anything. Okay, next thing. We're just going to put that cover back on. Just like the way we took it off. Very simple, very easy. They made these engines very easy for the mechanic. Okay, remember we have this lip on this side. Got to get that underneath the gas tank, like so. Like so, super easy. And then just go ahead and take these by hand. Start these two in the front by hand. Okay, this one you might have to raise up a little to hit that hole. Super good. And this one. Okay, now I will come around with the impact gun and just run these in. just because it's super easy to get them ran in. Do not tighten them with this. You could break them off, but I'll just run them in. So they're snug. Then I'll come around with my wrench and do the final tightening of them. Just all you want is snug. Good, good, good. Once you get all these tightened up, take your snowblower outside. So you're in a good ventilated area. You want to start this inside. You want to breathe those fumes. And then one thing I do recommend, check your oil. Make sure that those levels are up good. And the machine should run like a drain. Make sure that you turn the gas valve back on. All you have to do is turn it to the parallel position like this. Give it about a minute to fill up with gas, then go ahead and try to start it outside. Hope this video helped you guys. Go ahead and like and subscribe. That sure helps me out. You guys have a great day.